So a lot of people have been talking about whether or not Donald Trump will use martial laws over the weekend. And apparently that whole discussion came out as a result of some mainstream media's reports on a meeting that President Trump had at the White House with two people. And the two people are Attorney Flynn and Powell and General Michael Flynn. What got the mainstream media nervous was what they say they were discussing, which was the use of martial laws. CNN's analyst and New York Times, I think she's New York Times White House correspondent. Her name is Maggie Haberman. She wrote an article over the weekend. She also tweeted and claimed that they were discussing martial laws at the White House at the meeting. So that's where all the news report came from. She also said that there were big disputes at the meeting because apparently some of Trump's advisors were against the idea. Now, I know that every time when New York Times tell you something about Donald Trump, I can't take it at face value. I need to do some research on my own to really find out what really went on. So I did a little bit research on my own, and I concluded 3 important facts regarding that meeting and regarding whether or not Donald Trump will use martial laws. Fact number 1 is martial laws was not discussed at the meeting, or they were not the focus of the meeting, because Donald Trump denied it. There were 3 people denied it. The first one is President Trump himself. He said on Sunday in a tweet that this is fake news. And it was another example to show that how the mainstream media, doing bad reporting. And the second person who denied that is Attorney Flynn and Powell. And she said that, people saying that, including those around him, are liars. And she tweeted that on Sunday as well. The third person who came out and said that this was not true was former Overstock CEO Patrick Byrne. He apparently attended the meeting, and he said he spent 4 hours at the White House. And he said this media report was 100% false. So we know the claim on martial laws is false. But it's very interesting that Patrick Byrne did confirm through his tweets the dispute or the argument by Trump's advisors. But he saw that in a completely different light. He said Trump is lied to by his own advisors, who tell staff, get the president to concede while they stall Trump. So Byrne specifically pointed to White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and General Counsel Pat Cipollone and 2 other attorneys. So it's very interesting that the same debate has been interpreted in different ways. Right? One sees it as a disapproval, whereas the other saw it as lack of loyalty. But what I think what really happens is through this whole saga, more and more people's true colors have been shown, whether knowingly or unknowingly. The third fact that's really important to note is there are some good news that came out of that meeting, because according to Patrick Byrne, Flynn and Powell were discussing some course of action with President Trump that does not require martial laws. And he said that it's 100% winnable and martial laws is not required. And then President Trump himself seems quite optimistic when he was interviewed by WABC on Sunday, and he said we're getting closer and closer. And this morning he also tweeted that big news will come out soon regarding Pennsylvania. Now, today is, according to the Chinese lunar calendar, the official arrival of winter, and we call that Dongzhi. Traditionally, it's the second most important Chinese holiday after the Chinese New Year. And a lot of Chinese don't know about this, by the way, because the communist China, the Chinese communist regime has killed our own culture. So even though I was born and raised in China, there's so much about my own culture that I didn't know until now. So I just found out that it's actually the second most important Chinese holidays traditionally. And during the old days, for example, during the Tang Dynasty or the Song dynasties, it's such an important holiday that the emperors will have to hold outdoor activities to worship their ancestors and the heavens, to acknowledge the ancestors and the heavens. And the civilians or average people would have to do the same thing. But according to the Chinese yin-yang theory, or the theory of the 5 elements, this day is important because it's a day that signifies the uprising of the positive energy. It's a turning point where positive energy will rise. So on this day, it's believed that the negative energy is at its peak, but since today onward, it's going to go down and positive energy will rise up. And also, I was told today by a friend that it's also a day where the North Star will appear. So I think it's not coincidence, right? The North Star will appear on a day that's also the official Chinese day of the positive energy. That's what I call that. So I think today will be a new beginning for a lot of us. And not only the winter arrives, we'll also see a lot of good things that will happen in our country. So with that said, I wish everyone a great winter and a great week ahead of us. This is the holiday week. So with that all said, I hope you could like and share our program and subscribe. Till next time, I'll see you later.